Welcome back, boss. So you want to know how to create systems for your business. Probably what you got going on is you're feeling like there is a lot of work to do and it's feeling a little unorganized, maybe like some things might be falling through the cracks. You're going to love having systems in your business. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you the step-by-step process for how to get a system up and running in your business so that you can have more free time. That's what's at the end of this for you. So watch until the end, like your Netflix and kayaking time depends on it, because believe me, it does. The first time I ever tried to set up a system in business, oh my gosh, I wanted to cry and I wanted to quit, and I was pretty new in business, and I remember thinking maybe I have no business being an entrepreneur, because clearly if I can't figure out this email marketing platform, then I just don't have it. And I was so discouraged. I'm going to share with you right now the biggest mistake that people make when they're building their systems. But I am going to tell you, you are going to need to watch all the way to the end in order to be able to have the whole process put together. Most people start with a software and then they try to build their systems to fit the software instead of picking the software that fits their systems. It's a big difference, and we are going to flip this and do it backwards. So the software that you need and what you choose, that's actually going to be the last thing that we'll talk about, but it is so important. If you have the wrong software, your system will not be able to be followed and the whole thing breaks down. So make sure you really follow this process all the way through. The very first thing that we're going to start with is our standard operating procedures. If you don't have those in place, we have actually got videos on that inside of this playlist. You're welcome to go and watch. But you need to start with your standard operating procedures. This is the process that you follow every time. And these are the step-by-step things that need to be done in order for this process to happen. I have mentioned this several times, but I've got to mention it again. The way that we learn and go from incompetence to competence is through 4 different steps. We start off unconsciously incompetent. We don't know how to do it, but we're not even aware of the fact that we're screwing up. Then we go to consciously incompetent. Well, now I'm aware I'm screwing up, but I still don't know how to do it right. Then we go to consciously competent, meaning I can do it right, but I really have to think about it. And then we arrive in unconsciously competent, where we just do it and it's like second nature. Systems are going to help you get to that space faster, because a lot of those little things that need to be done that we as humans forget, the system is going to force us to do, or it's going to do it for us. So if you want to get to the point where you're like up leveling everyone's performance, building a system is one of the fastest ways to elevate that team performance. If this is helpful, I would love for you to hit the like button, leave me a comment, let me know that this is making sense. And of course, subscribe to the channel and come back often so you can get more tips on how to run your business like a boss. So now that we know the standard operating procedures and we know that we really want to build a system around it, the very first thing that we're going to look for is what are the parts that have to be done manually and what are the parts that could be done with automation. So let me give you some examples of things that can be done with automation. Reminders of when tasks need to be done. Like if somebody needs to remember to call someone on a certain day, that can be done through automation. Scheduling can be done through automation. Sending emails or reminders, that can be done through automation. And I'm not trying to give you an all-inclusive list here. I'm just kind of trying to jog your mindset around what types of things can be done through automation. I said this before on other videos, and I'm going to say it again because I think it's really important. You need to understand that the goal of automation is not to replace connection. It's to enhance connection. So if I have to remember all the details about your business, and I have to remember when I'm supposed to call you, and I have to remember what we're supposed to talk about on the next call, I mean, I'm going to be honest, I can't handle more than like 5 people at a time. That's my brain's limit, because I have so many other things going on that I have to remember, right? Like I can't handle that many people. So when I have a system that supports me being able to automate gathering the information, giving me the reminders, carrying over the data, then I can handle a lot more people at once. And it's not that the level of connection goes down, the level of connection stays high, but it allows me to be able to expand how many people I can connect to. That's the goal behind automation. So if you're getting that like cringy, ooh, automation, I don't like feeling like I'm just a number on a conveyor belt, that's not what I'm talking about at all. Now we want to actually write this out in a process. I'm gonna bring up on my screen and show you our sales process written out from start to finish so you can see what this actually looks like before we go and start selecting the software and programming it in somewhere. Okay, so this is what a written process looks like. And I'm just gonna go through it so you can kind of get a feel. I'm not saying you should copy this. I don't even know if it's right for your particular sales system. I'm just telling you this is what we do. And every process and every system should be customized for the business. You wouldn't want to take somebody else's process and just completely duplicate it, because there's unique things to your business and it needs to be addressed. That's why I don't like conveyor belt style coaching, because I feel like they're expecting the same thing to work the same way for every business. And in my experience, that's just not how it goes. So we have our basic flow. So a new lead comes in through various channels. Admin reports or imports these leads into Pipedrive, placing them in the new lead category. Setter team calls each lead to schedule an appointment with a closer. After the first call is made, the lead moves to contacting stage. If an appointment is set, the lead moves to the appointment scheduled stage. If they are not able to reach the lead during their call, the deal is marked. Now that doesn't happen until we've called a certain amount of times. If the lead does not wish to hold a scheduled appointment at this time, the deal is moved to the on hold stage, and then we wait until they reach out to us. The closer holds the appointment with the lead. If the first person says yes, if the person says yes, money is collected, the deal is marked as won. If the person says yes, but no money is collected, the deal is then moved to the sale pending stage. If the person says no, the deal is marked as lost. When the deal is won, the closer collects all payment information, sets payment arrangements with the client, and calls the admin team to have the deal entered into Infusionsoft. And then we have the setter team call schedule. Like I want you to see how detailed this really is. So the setter attempts to call the lead by calling, texting, and emailing as follows. We try over the course of 24 days to reach out to them. And we have which days we call, what we do on that day, like are we calling or sending a text, are we sending an email? And then we also have in here, what are the actual emails that they say, like what are the templates when we miss them for each of those different emails that go out. So we've got that in there. Once we know what we want to have happen, then our job is to go and find the most efficient software that will support us in being able to do this. I want to talk a minute about software, and then I'll show you how we write out how we're going to actually use the software. You're probably not going to find a software that does exactly everything that you want it to do. But you want a software that's going to do a good 90% of what you want it to do. And you really, really, really want a software that is easy to use. So I've been an Infusionsoft user for probably 8 years. And I really do like the platform, and they have an amazing sales pipeline in there, an amazing sales system that can do so much, but it's not very user-friendly. And so for years and years, I tried to make it work. I was like, no, we're just gonna use it. I already have the tool, I'm paying for it anyway, we're just gonna use it. And time again, the process wasn't getting followed. So then I'd go to pull reports, and the reports aren't accurate because someone had forgotten to do something, because it was pretty clunky and there was very little automation built in. Everything had to be done by hand. And sometimes you'd have to enter the same information in 2 different places in order for it to save, and it had to be really done specifically. It just wasn't very usable for my team. So I made the hard decision to move my sales process, my sales system over to a new program called Pipedrive, because Pipedrive was easier to use. The best system will not get used if it's hard to use. So you've got to be able to go through it. And the other question I had to ask myself is, I was like, am I even doing the process when I'm doing sales calls in Infusionsoft? And the answer was no. And why? Because it was tedious and because it was easy to mess up. So we moved to a program that was simple and it was easy to follow. Now, once we know what the program is that we're going to be using, now we go through and we create the bridge between what our process is and how the software can work. And this is where we kind of go through. So we have the company settings when we get a new person in there. We have to create all of these different things. We have to set up the activities, the calls, the text messages, the missed emails, what happens in 3 months when somebody comes off of on hold. And so we go in and we get all of that set up. We go through and we say, what are the different reasons why someone can be lost? They weren't interested, they couldn't afford it, already working with another coach, they don't have enough time, they're no longer in business. And then we have to get the users set up. So we go through what are all the tasks we do to set up a user, what are all of the data fields that we have to get set up, because we customize our scripts in data fields so that it holds all of the data that we want. Guys, this is a detailed document. That's really the big thing I want you to see. Now, I will tell you, I don't build this on my own. This is something that I don't recommend that you build on your own either. What I do recommend that you do is that you make this a collaborative process. So you might not be the systems building guru on your team, but somebody is. So you, like in mine, I'm the person who understands the sales process. And then I have a person who understands the software. And then we come together and we build this out so that it really works and it flows. So that she knows this is what the software can do. And I know this is what needs to happen for the sales process to work. So it's a collaborative effort. Why do you really need this system? When it all boils down to it, like, could you just train people to do it without the system? Yes, but you're gonna waste so much time in efficiency. If they have to manually do all of these things, they'll be inefficient and stuff will fall through the cracks. Specifically, let's talk about sales systems for just a minute. I'm not even joking about this. I don't think that you should hire salespeople until you have the sales system built, because salespeople are very much driven to create results. And if I needed to get through a jungle and I had two choices, one is hack through a jungle with a machete, and two is walk through the paved road, I'm gonna walk through the paved road. So your good salespeople, they do not wanna hack through your jungle of no system and chaos and there's no processes in place. They want to find the easiest path for them to be able to create consistent sales. So you get to decide the order in which you build your systems. I personally do like to put sales and marketing systems on the forefront because they're the ones that bring the money in. And until you have that working, you don't really need as much the systems for client fulfillment. What will happen is as sales and marketing start working and start producing more, then you will absolutely need to go and look at your client fulfillment systems because you'll have more people. But in the beginning, when there's not a lot of clients to take care of, you can kind of manage that on your own. So I would go, if it was me, I would go sales system first. No, actually I would do marketing system first, then sales system, then I would do client fulfillment, then I would do finance, and then I would just look at random admin stuff that needs to be done. So that's kind of my order, but again, it's your business, you're the boss, so you get a pick. So now you know how to create systems for your business. The next video that I want you to go watch is how to fire an employee gracefully. It's not one of the more fun parts of being the boss, but it is definitely a skill that you need and need to be able to do it well. I'm Amy Walker. Thanks for watching Like a Boss.